What's up, everybody? It's Gomlet, and welcome back to more ranked drafts of Ravnica Allegiance. Let's just hop right into it and see what we open. We have a Revival and a Revenge, and I have played this card once before in Limited, and Revenge was the only part I ever cast, but that part could just end games. I didn't really like the look of it at first, but having your opponent's life total out of nowhere can really lead to a lot of just immediate lethal attacks that would not have otherwise been, so I do like that card quite a bit more than I thought I would. And there's also the Revival part, which you can cast if you don't have the mana to Revenge, but that's pretty much the only reason to cast that. So the rest of the cards in this pack, there's nothing like insanely bomby, there's just some good cards. I like Sentinel's Mark, I like Summary Judgment, I like the Footlight Fiend, Skewer the Critics, obviously that's a good card. Rebel Belt Recluse I like quite a bit. I think I'm just going to pick up the rare here. Even if we can only cast the Revival part, this seems like an okay card, maybe, to run. So this pack... The Burning Tree Vandal as the best red card. Rendhorn is the best green. Oh wait, no, there's a Scorchmark. Scorchmark's probably the best red card. But I think I am going to pick something that goes with our Revival and Revenge. So I'm going to take one of the white or black cards here because there are good ones. Carrion Imp is pretty good, Syndicate Messenger is pretty good, and Spirit of the Spires are pretty good. The thing here is I don't actually know which one of these three is the best. I think they're all pretty comparable in power level. This is a 2/4, so technically that has like more toughness than the other two, and it has a pretty situational ability. I guess the ability does work pretty well with Afterlife cards. If I end up getting a lot of the 1/1 tokens, having a Spirit of the Spires out will make sure that they don't just die to a dagger caster or something like that. So I guess I'll probably just take Spirit of the Spires, but I think that, yeah, I think Spirit of the Spires and Syndicate Messenger are very, very similar in power level. This has one less toughness, but it replaces itself with a 1/1 flyer. This has one more toughness and has a little bit of an ability. So I don't actually know which is better, but I'll pick up the Spirit of the Spires first here. Next pack we have a Final Payment, which is a card I like. There's a Syndicate Messenger if I want to just pick up another flyer. There's an Orzhov Racketeers. I have had that card be good. It is pretty hard to try to get in there with a 3/2, especially a 3/2 on turn 5, but the reward for doing so is very high. If you can manage to clear off your opponent's board of creatures and then just start hitting them with this thing, it's very hard for your opponent to come back from that. But I don't know how much of that is because you're making them discard and how much is because, obviously, at that point you've cleared off their board. But yeah, I think that just makes your opponent's losing situations even more of a losing situation, so I guess this is kind of a win more card, which tends to not be great. Because you want cards that help you get out of losing situations more than you want cards that are really good when you're winning the game, because if you're already winning the game, you don't really need a lot to help you out there. So yeah, not really sure what to pick here in this pack. There is the removal spell, there's the Syndicate Messenger, there's Undercity Scavenger, which I like quite a bit, especially in these Orzhov decks where you have some tokens lying around. I think I'm just going to take the removal spell. I don't think you can ever really go super wrong taking removal highly, so that's just what I'm going to do here. This pack is a Sky Tether. Let me actually swap this so that the cards are a little bigger. This pack has a Sky Tether, which has been pretty alright. This card's ended up a lot better than I thought it would be. Flying is just a really big mechanic in white. So in Orzhov and Azorius, it feels like most of the time your primary attackers are just flying creatures. So actually making something lose flying and get defender is usually really good. This frequently just works as a straight up removal spell. So for 1 mana, that's quite good. There's also Syndicate Messenger and a Carrion Imp again, but we've seen a whole lot of those running around. So I think I should be able to wheel, hopefully, one of these two at some point. Maybe out of that, the pack where we took Spirit over Syndicate Messenger or Carrion Imp, we'll probably wheel one of those there. I don't think we're going to be running out of flyers because I've seen a lot so far, so hopefully we'll be wheeling some of those. I'm kind of like a broken record right now, sorry about that. I think I'm going to take Imperious Oligarch here. It is a 2-mana creature with Vigilance, and it's a 2/1, and it replaces itself with the Afterlife trigger, and I can get it back with Revival. Yeah, it's between that and the Carrion Imp. I do like the Orzhov Guildgate, but I don't want to take a Guildgate this early, especially because our mana isn't that difficult right now. We don't have like the white, black card or anything like that, so I'm just going to take the Oligarch. Get something out early here. So there's a Dead Rebels. I think this card... I wasn't a big fan of this card, and then one of my opponents just destroyed me with this with card advantage one time. It basically was a long game where I was playing Orzhov versus Rakdos, I believe. And I had like Kaya's Wrath, and then we were both just top decking, and they just top decked Dead Rebels, and I'm like, oh god. So they just got their 2 best creatures back, which was like a Judith and something else. And that was really bad, and then they drew another Dead Rebels, and there was just no way I was coming back from that. So I think this card actually is pretty good. But I do also believe that it goes pretty late pretty often, so I should be able to pick up one of those later. And I kind of like the Vizkopa Vampire. It does have 1 toughness, so I am kind of setting myself up to really lose to Daggercaster type effects. If I pick up a lot of cards like that, but I think it's okay. I think that being a 3/1 lifelink, especially in the guild where you can have a lot of removal and ways to get it through, is just fine. So 10th District Veteran, I don't know what it is about this card, but I do not like it. I don't like how the stats match up a lot. Whenever I play this card, it usually just gets blanked. I just feel like 2/3 body is not super effective on a 3-drop, so I'm just going to take the Guildgate. I could take a Daggercaster if I want to try to go Mardu. I could take an Orzhov Locket if I think I'm going to get a lot of high mana cost cards. I do have a 6-mana card that I am wanting to cast right now. Or I could take an Azorius Guildgate just in case I want to splash in some Azorius cards. I guess I'll take the Orzhov Locket. So I guess that's the most likely for me to run. So this pack's pretty easy Sentinel's Mark. I have not played the Justiciar's Portal very often. I don't like it a lot unless you have a lot of Enter the Battlefield effects. If you can use this to trigger one of your Enter the Battlefield effects again and kill a creature by giving your guy first strike, then I think it's a good card. But just as a target creature gets first strike till end of turn kind of thing, doesn't seem incredible. And I don't really have any Enter the Battlefield effects yet, so not a lot to do with the Justiciar's Portal. It's also a pretty bad combo with Sentinel's Mark, so if I end up with more than 1 Sentinel's Mark, even if I do have a bunch of Enter the Battlefield effect creatures, I'm probably not going to want to run it. I don't really care about any of these cards, so I guess I'll take the Guildgate. Very unlikely I end up running this Guildgate, because I am white-black right now, and that's a red-green Guildgate, so that's a little weird. This pack's a really hard pick, because I do like the Scavenger a lot. But I do have the Sky Tether and the Spirit of the Spire, so I have cards that incentivize me to pick flyers pretty highly, so I'll pick up the flyer. There's also a Dead Rebels, but I do think those go really late most of the time with the bots. So the end of that draft there went pretty well for me. I got to pick up a late Carrion Imp, late Watchful Giant. Those are cards I can actually play. They're not super exciting. I mean, the Carrion Imp I'm kind of excited about, but the Watchful Giant, not that exciting. I could actually play it, though. Same with the Orzhov Locket. So this pack, I could take a Stomping Ground for my collection, and I'm really tempted to do that, because none of these cards are that insane. There's nothing jumping out to me in Orzhov here, so I'm actually just going to expand my collection with another Shockland. There's a Gate Colossus, or an Ill-Gotten Inheritance, and those are the cards in our guild. I mean, there's a Twilight Panther. Not a big fan of the Twilight Panther, but it is playable. It's definitely not something I want to pick this early, especially because it goes pretty late. This might be a pack where I start trying to splash something in. Maybe I should take the Azorius Night Arbiter. Which is a little awkward, because that definitely means that if I do end up taking Azorius cards here, then it would have been better to have an Azorius Guildgate than one of these Orzhov Lockets for sure. I do like Gate Colossus, though. Yeah, I'm just going to play it safe here, stick with our colors, pick up the Gate Colossus, and just very highly incentivize Orzhov Guildgates for sure. Because Gate Colossus, I don't think is insanely hard to cast in an Orzhov deck, because Orzhov's pretty controlling. It tries to go to the late game and grind it out. You have a bunch of creatures that can block twice, because it blocks then dies, then you block with the token. And I have double Orzhov Locket to try to ramp up to these high mana cost cards, so it seems fine in here. I'm actually going to check out our curve. Yeah, that is not actually ordered right. Okay, I was going to say, that looks really, really bad. It is not a particularly great curve, but it's not awful. Because, yeah, this pack we actually have multiple cards that we could definitely play. There's an Orator, there's a Summary Judgment, there's a Syndicate Messenger, and a Grudian. I would happily play any of those four. So, how many... I only have one creature that's coming out on turn 2, so I probably want to pick up more of those creatures. But how many removal spells do I have? I have a Sky Tether, I have a Final Payment. That is it for removal. So I kind of want the Summary Judgment. This is a pretty hard pick, because all of these cards would fit great into our deck. These four right here. Orator, Judgment, Messenger, and Grudian. I'm going to pick up the Judgment here. This pack, there's another Guildgate, or a Twilight Panther, or a Pump Spell. I'm just going to pick up the Guildgate, goes well with the Gate Colossus, and obviously it also just goes well with our deck, helping fix our mana pretty easily. I think it's a pretty easy Forbidding Spirit here. I'm not a fan of the Undercity's Embrace. I think it really often will just end up getting you the sack their 2-drop that they played a million turns ago that doesn't matter anymore. Or just one of their tokens if you're playing against Orzhov. Oh, I guess there's Spire Mangler. Completely didn't notice that card. It was kind of just hiding in the shadows beside the Forbidding Spirits. It's actually kind of a pick between these two. I kind of like the Spire Mangler, because I do have a little bit of a flyer sub-theme here with all these flyers, Spirit of the Spires, Sky Tether, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and Spire Mangler is nice because it doubles as a removal spell. It's either a flying evasive threat or a removal spell, because it comes in and it is a 4/1 flyer on its own. And if you've managed to trigger any Afterlife cards, and you have that 1/1 spirit, all of a sudden you can make one of your 1/1 spirits a 3/1 spirit, and you get to trade off a 1/1 spirit for something actually good. So I do like the Spire Mangler a lot in this deck. The reason it was a pretty big Forbidding Spirit before I noticed that there was a Spire Mangler is because I need some more cards at 3 mana. So Spire Mangler also fits that part of the curve very nicely. So there's nothing I'm playing here. There's maybe a Rester's Zeal, so I guess I'm picking up the Dead Rebels, and we're going to try that out. I do think it can be good. I definitely like Undercity Scavenger here. It's very good with Afterlife cards. And even if you don't have cards like that, it's still okay to just come out, sacrifice your 2-mana 2/2 or whatever. Because then it's a 5/5 threat, and you get to scry 2 to make sure you're not just running into a bunch of lands when you don't need them or something like that. Pack's not very exciting, so I'll take the Night of Sorrows, because I could actually play it. Oops, I put the wrong card there. There we go. That is the curve. There's a Hazda Officer. It does fill out the 3-mana slot on the curve. It's not very exciting, but it fits there. I guess we're just taking one of these late Twilight Panthers we've been seeing. I guess we're taking 2 of the late Twilight Panthers we've been seeing. Actually, I probably... Oh, that might have been a... I don't know if Rakdos Guildgate would be better. Rakdos Guildgates probably would be better. That way, just in case I get anything crazy in this last pack, I can splash it in. And it's also a Guildgate that I could run just to make Gate Colossus cheaper, just because it's not too bad to have just like a couple swamps that enter tapped. But I guess it isn't very good either. I'm going to pick up Wilderness Reclamation, just for collection reasons. Pick up a 3rd Twilight Panther. Yeah, I definitely should have picked a Rakdos Guildgate over Twilight Panther earlier, when I had that choice. Am I running Rakdos Trumpeter? This card's actually okay. If I manage to get a Blade Juggler... Yeah, if I manage to get a Blade Juggler or two, then I think it's okay to run this even if I don't have red. Just because it pretty easily gets your Spectacle on turn 3 done. So here we have a Glass of the Guild Pact. I've literally never seen that card before. Multicolored creatures you control get +1/+1. It seems really bad in our deck, so not gonna take that. I've got one card, and then I guess my Afterlife tokens are white and black. How many Afterlife tokens do I have? I don't think I have nearly enough for that to be good. I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this card's not going to do anything. This is not a Glass of the Guild Pact deck. Could be a Civic Stalwart deck. Could be Resolute Watchdog deck. I think I like the Watchdog more. I've got a lot of stuff sitting here at 4 mana. So I'll pick up a Watchdog. Prime Speaker Vannifar. I really wish I knew how many gems it gives you for a mythic that you already own 4 of. Because I maybe would just take that for gems. But there are actual picks here. There's another Orzhov Guildgate, which I think I'm going to pick. It helps the mana and it helps the Gate Colossus. But there's also Bloodmist Infiltrator, which I definitely could run in this deck. I'm just going to take the Guildgate here, and hopefully Mythic 5th copies are not like a million gems that I'm missing out on there. Yeah, I like Noxious Grudian here. Another 3-drop. Here we have a Bedeck, so that's just double black. Target creature gets +3/-3 till end of turn, so it's like an early removal spell, which is alright. Maybe I just want an Inheritance, though. I think I'll just take a Bedeck. I think our mana is good enough to justify a double black removal spell. Bladebrand? Maybe? Thirsting Shade, maybe? I don't really like this card. I don't really like Bladebrand in this deck either. I guess I'll toss a Bladebrand in the sideboard. Alright, well, we got the Rakdos Guildgate just later. So the cool thing, yeah, I'm definitely going to run the Rakdos Guildgate because it works with the Gate Colossus, and also there's a very, very tiny chance that we can cast Bedazzle, but Bedazzle isn't even very good, so I don't see that ever happening, but maybe there'll be a game where we have our Rakdos Guildgate out, they're at 2 life, and they have a non-basic land. And if that's the case, then I will absolutely Bedazzle, but other than that, probably not. Really not gonna run any of this stuff. I guess I'll take an Ill-Gotten Inheritance, because there's a non-zero chance that we do play that. There's a non-zero chance we play the Portal, but it's not very high. And definitely not running any of this. And we wield the Bloodmist Infiltrator, so that's nice. Because I could definitely actually be playing him. Take the uncommon for collection purposes. Take another Bladebrand. An uncommon. These are both garbage. And more garbage that is not going into this deck. Okay, so I need to take out 4 cards. So I'm going to take the Trumpeter out. We don't have any Spectacle to trigger. We just have Dead Revels. Trumpeter is really only good if you're very highly trying to Spectacle something out on turn 3, specifically. Could take the Orzhov Lockets out, but I've got... No, this is a 2-mana card. I have basically 3 cards that cost more than 5. The Lockets are probably okay in here. Mountain is definitely incorrect in this deck. I do not need to cast a Bedazzle ever, Magic Online. So let's go ahead and actually, let's check our... Ooh! Whoa! I opened the vault, guys! Oh, that's sick. Sorry. That was distracting me. Sorry. Alright, we're gonna go back to editing the deck. I was like, what is that? Oh my god! Look at all the wild cards! Okay. Yeah, let's see the, this. 11 white, 7 black, 5 multicolored. One of the multicolored is... Actually, I have to look at the cards, because we have some Twilight Panthers and stuff like that with off-color effects. So Twilight Panther is basically a gold card, because we never want to have a Twilight Panther if we don't have black mana, or otherwise that card is just awful. So I think that is the only off-color ability. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 white cards, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 black cards. So I just toss another swamp. Or actually, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 black sources. We have 7, 8, 9, 10 white sources. So yeah, I guess we just throw in another swamp. Because it's pretty even. We do want our white mana earlier, but that's why we have 1 more white mana source than black mana source. 7, 8, 9, 10 versus 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, wait, no. Do it like this. We want more white than black. We don't want an even split here. Maybe we do want an even split. I don't know. That's probably fine. Okay, let's go back to making our final 3 cuts here. We do have like 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 creatures at 5 mana without the officer, so I'll just take out the officer. I think he's the weakest creature we have at 4. Maybe the Scope of Vampire is worse than him, I don't know. And maybe we just take out the Twilight Panthers, actually. Nah, we could take out a Knight of Sorrows. Take out 1 Locket, maybe? I do like the Lockets, because we still have the Gate Colossus that we want to cast. And like, worst case scenario, we just use the Locket to draw some cards later instead. If we don't draw, whatever high mana cost dudes. Yeah, I think I'll just take out 1 of these Panthers. And I'll run the deck like this. Yeah. This deck's not exciting, it's pretty standard, so I'm just going to give it the Orzhov Locket picture. And let's hop into our rounds and see how this goes. Mr. Meme Dream. What an opponent. Alright. Good hand. It's not an exceptional hand, but we have a really good mana base with this hand. And if they have a really aggressive start, we're still okay. Not a great spot, though. That is the biggest problem, is that we don't have a lot of action early. But we do now have double removal spells, so we're probably fine. Gatebreaker Ram. I'm going to go ahead and kill that card during my main phase while it is still small enough to kill. Then I'll just drop down Inheritance next turn. Unless they play something super spooky, then I might be inclined to just drop a Grudian. And they don't. They drop a Guildgate, so that makes me, again, very happy about the choice to kill that thing. So we do have a final payment with a Sentinel's Mark to sacrifice to the final payment. If +1/+2 and Vigilance ends up not really doing much of anything. This is a problem. But it doesn't have Trample, so I just drop Grudian and deal with it that way, I think. Yep. Drop Grudian, hope that this will deal with it, and if it doesn't, I do have the final payment. Things go very wrong. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Does that fizzle if I destroy the target? Let's find out. Oh, it does! Oh! That was the best removal spell ever. Oh my god. That was really attractive. I'm gonna save the Grudian, because they are Teamer, which means that they are the colors with the gigantic creatures. So I don't think I want to scavenge that away. I don't want to scavenge away a Spire Mangler either, so I'm just gonna hardcast Scavenger main phase. And not even scry. Because, yeah, 5/5 Scavenger is good, but then if they just drop like a 6/6, I'm doomed. Alright, so they just dropped a 3/3, which is fine. I can Sentinel's Mark my Scavenger and get in there. Could also Sentinel's Mark Grudian, but Grudian's definitely trading off with something sometime soon. So that seems bad. I don't know how much I need the life. It might have been better to just attack with the Scavenger and then just flashed in Sentinel's Mark if they blocked. That kind of sucks. Nothing I can do about that, though. They're getting pretty close to Ill-Gotten Inheritance being lethal, so that makes me happy. Yeah, I'll kill that thing. If they do some kind of pump spell to try and save it, I can just give Death Touch. Alright, sick. We'll flash in the Spire Mangler to increase our clock by a decent chunk. So we drain one, we put them down to 6 life. Ill-Gotten Inheritance can drain them for 4, so we just need to hit them one more time with Spire Mangler to kill them. That is if they don't flash something in. They're going to return Grudian to my hand. Okay. Alright, so if they somehow don't get a creature, they are still dead next turn. Because 4 damage will put them down to 4. They probably have a creature, though, at this point. Yeah, that's a Steeple Creeper. That could block either of these. I think I am still just on the aggressive here, though. And opponent scoops. So Steeple Creeper must have been all that they had in hand there. Alright. Pretty good first game for this deck. Ooh, I forgot to check my dailies today. Should swap that just in case it's something that is worth 750 gold. But I am already started on it, and its attack with 30 creatures was something I can do with any deck. I'm gonna click it! I'm gonna click it! Aww. It's still only worth 500 gold. Alright. That's fine. Let's hop back in. At least it is, one of the things I can do for that is cast white spells, which my deck does. What? What's happening here? Alright, that was weird, but we're back in it. This is a good hand. That's a 7-mana Gate Colossus, thanks to our Rakdos Guildgate. Orzhov mirror match, it looks like. Opponent starts off with a really good way to stop a Imperious Oligarch. 1/3s are historically good at blocking 2/1s. Well, we might just trade Oligarchs here. I'm not actually going to Sentinels mark my Oligarch if they choose to block. I do have that option, but I'm not going to do it. Because I am going to sacrifice the Oligarch or its token for my Undercity Scavenger whenever. So I don't want to waste a Sentinels mark on something I'm going to sacrifice anyway. If I manage to keep this Sentinels mark in hand all the way until I cast Gate Colossus, that could be pretty attractive. Let's let them drain me a life here. They do have 2 in the air now instead of just 1 in the air. But the alternative was to just let the 2/1 basically be unblockable anyway. So it's still good to just get it out of here. Dead Revels? Dead Revels does seem actually good here. Grudian not so much. Grudian just hits their Vindictive Vampire, that's it. Yeah, I don't think I want a Grudian right now. Because I also want to hit lands, so that I can cast Watchful Giant and Gate Colossus. Alright, well you do your Blade Brand. Alright, they're not attacking with the Vampire. I was going to immediately block that and be like, do your Blade Brand, let's trade this Vampire off. Getting hit for 2. I guess I actually don't want Dead Revels now either. So I am kind of a not great decision from me there. I think I want to gain the life here. I highly doubt that they double blocked in the first place. So let's gain the life. If I were omnipotent and I knew that my opponent was going to double block the Scavenger, I would have still just used that at instant speed. Grasping Thrall. That's gonna get sky tethered. Just so I don't get slammed by that thing. So I need to block with 7 power to kill my Scavenger. So we'll have to do the math after they attack. Okay, they don't even attack with anything, so they can definitely make a good block to kill the Scavenger, but I do have a Dead Revels. Yeah, I think I like that. They get to drain me a bunch, but I'm at 19. I want to just make their field smaller, especially if this lets me kill some of the flyers. Then after this I will probably cast Viscopa Vampire and Sky Tether. Oh, I get to kill the big flyer. I get to kill the big boy. Let's actually just kill the flyers here, I think. Ooh, that was the wrong order to do that. Whatever. That was the really wrong order. Oops. I don't know how that happened, but I intended to, kill both the flyers, the 1/3 flyer and the 3/3 flyer, and then I ended up just killing literally the worst creatures I could have chosen. So that was pretty bad. But we could still be fine, especially if I get a land here. I get to Watchful Giant. Next turn I Dead Revels into the dudes. So I can Bedeck their Vindictive Vampire, and if they are dumb, then they Watchdog it. I actually like that in response to Watchdog. That way they can't attack me with that thing anymore, or I get to start gaining life with Vampire, and I'm just in the winning spot. And I guess they could also just trade their Thrall for the Vampire. Yeah. We're gonna Bedeck their Vindictive Vampire during their turn. Slowly dying here, just taking one a turn. Until I get this action. Then I will be quickly winning. Use the Watchdog. Use the Watchdog. Oh! Aww, they're smart. My opponent knows how it works. Hey, Ill-Gotten Inheritance just completely shuts off their flyer. That's really nice. Now I just gain a life every turn. Like, I take a damage every turn, and then I also gain a life every turn, so I'm not losing any life, and now they are losing 1 life a turn. So Ill-Gotten Inheritance puts the game back in my favor, and Archway Angel puts it right back in their favor. Holy jeez. That's not good. Knew I shouldn't have got excited. Game immediately goes right back in their favor. Where's Unblock? It's kind of sweet here. So I can actually cast my big boys. We are bringing the little guys back. Thanks to Ill-Gotten Inheritance giving me Spectacle. That is one of the best things this card can do. I had an opponent that got Theater of Horrors and Ill-Gotten Inheritance out, and that was brutal. Because Theater of Horrors, you exile a card from the top every turn, and you can cast the exiled cards as long as you've dealt damage to your opponent that turn. So with Theater of Horrors and Ill-Gotten Inheritance, Theater of Horrors is literally just you draw an extra card every turn, period. Which is really, really good. Their own Ill-Gotten Inheritance, I see. Alright, I mean, I need to draw into removal, so I'm going to cast Oligarch, sack it to the Scavenger, then Scavenger is a threat on the board, and I have a 1/1 flying chump blocker, and I get to scry 2 to try and draw into removal. Neither of those are removal. How badly do I want to draw the land for the Gate Colossus? So, I take 4, go to 8, then I cast Gate Colossus, and I think I need removal faster than I need the Gate Colossus. Because I'm dead in 3 hits to the Flyers. Or in 2 hits if I don't save Ill-Gotten Inheritance mana up, so I need removal for that Angel real soon. They might just sack their Watchdog to save their 1/1 flyer. Twilight Panther, what a draw. The second I get the Scavenger, here's the Death Touch. So that's real depressing. Alright, so I'm taking 3. Spire Mangler? That works. Definitely works. I guess I play my own Twilight Panther. If I attack with Scavenger, they just Death Touch their Panther, which is really lame. So I save up the ability to pop the Locket or cast Spire Mangler. One of these things is a lot more likely than the other. Oh boy. That is very bad. So we get rid of the Watchdog, but I really don't have any other option. Oh, why couldn't that have been a summary judgment? Well... I have to start clearing their field, because I have to kill them somehow. Double Ill-Gotten Inheritance is really lame. They just get to pop one next turn, pop one the turn after that. And it is tremendously, like, impossible to beat. I have to save the mana for my own inheritance now. Ooh! Ooh! Oh god. That doesn't even work super well right now. Because if I use it right now, they respond with their inheritance, but they do the same thing next turn. It's better to do it now. Ah, that doesn't even, like, help a shit ton. Oh, it's a sorcery too for the revival half? Man. I think I just inheritance this turn? They don't even use it. can't play Gate Colossus and survive. I have to just revenge. So it goes 5 to 20, so I'm at 10, they're at 10. So I just frickin' lose. Yeah, we're both at 10. They drained me for 1 in their upkeep, hit me for 4 in the sky. I guess I go to 9, take 4, I'm at 5. Then I go to 1 off of them using Inheritance. But, like, they gain a bunch of life here. They gain 5 total, so they go up to 10. So they'll be at 10, I'll be at 1. Yeah, I just lose. Well, I got. I had 1 inheritance and they had 2. I mean, there's literally nothing I can do now. I didn't even draw removal now. Now that it's too late, my deck still didn't give me removal. I mean, I did draw 2 removal spells, but I have 2 more in here at least. I have Summary Judgment and the Destroy a Creature, Pay a bunch of life thing. That was pretty rough. But it happens. Yeah, I had 2 more removal spells. I'm trying to think if I want to swap anything out. No, I think that was just a combination of me playing poorly and getting kind of unlucky. I don't think the deck was at fault there. Yeah, there's just one of those situations that it's so hard to maneuver where, like, with those inheritance turns where it's like I could play the Locket to make sure I can Gate Colossus next turn, but then I'm not defending myself against this stuff. I think I should have just gone for getting the Gate Colossus out as soon as possible, and it actually would have ended alright. This hand's okay. If I don't draw anything, I can just defend myself with these removal spells. Opponent has a really good defensive start. I'm not going to be able to hit them on the ground, basically ever. I don't think I'm actually blocking with Spire Mangler, so I'm just going to play the Locket. Because I want to get my Inheritance out as soon as possible to gain some life to stave off this damage. Because blocking either of those is pretty bad, it just becomes a flyer. Yeah, I'm off to like a pretty bad start this game. Because my opponent had a pretty good curve on their start there. It was 2-drop, 2-drop, 4-drop, but double Afterlife Creature into Scavenger is a pretty good start. So I'm not in a great spot here. I think I'm just going to play the Grudian to block their Scavenger, saving up Final Payment or Summary Judgment. Yeah, opponent definitely has advantage right now. We'll see if we can turn things around somehow. Oh, well, that does not help at all. So, do I just main phase the Summary's Judgment next turn, or do I pay the life to kill that? I mean, it's gonna deal 5 to me, so I could pay 5, destroy it, and then it's basically the same as if I Summary Judgment during my turn. Except that I don't have the unconditional removal for later. But that's okay. I doubt that they have something with more than 5 toughness. This is a pretty bad start. I'm going down really low here. And I have my 1 toughness flyer instead of one of my several 3 or 4 toughness flyers to stop their Afterlife shenanigans. Be in a way better spot if this were literally any other flyer that's in my deck. Yeah, I think Spire Mangler is pretty bad against Orzhov, which is unfortunate. I think I just dropped the Vampire and save up the Summary Judgment. I don't want to use it on a flying token, but maybe I do. Maybe I do use it on a flying token. The alternate there is to just cast Ill-Gotten Inheritance. I guess that's also alright. I think I am just going to attack with Grudian. I don't want to trade Grudian with Enforcer, but I'll trade Vampire for Enforcer because we're against Orzhov. Vampire is also very bad against Orzhov because of all the 1/1 tokens. So I think Grudian is the more valuable creature here. Are they going to cast their own Spire Mangler? Sentinel's Mark on their... I guess I kill it while it's tapped, because I can't damage it when it's untapped. It's a weird Sentinel's Mark. Yeah, so I mean I did end up using Summer's Judgment on the token, which is what I didn't want to do. Oh, I'm super happy if they attack here. Because then if somehow they don't play a creature, if they just play Ill-Gotten Inheritance or something, I actually get to gain life with my Vampire. An Orator, the Impassioned Kind. I believe I would rather kill that than their Orzhov Enforcer, so I'm just going to swing in. They can do what they want. They're going to trade with the Grudians. They probably have a big boy coming up, so that's kind of scary. We're going to cast Inheritance. That just stops the damage from the Orzhov Enforcer, at least. However, now they probably just keep it tapped, and I can't attack with Viscopa Vampire again. Or keep it untapped, I should say. But maybe they have a creature in their hand that they're inclined to play. Alright. They're still hitting me. The odds of them playing a creature have just gone up phenomenally. And here comes Undercity Scavenger. Very nice for our opponent. They get to get their flying token. Now they got a 5/5 boy. And they get to scry to set up their next draws. Like that card a lot. So I need a way to deal with the Scavenger. Could revival my Death Toucher. That doesn't seem great, but I think it's where I'm at. Otherwise, I could just Sky Tether the Scavenger. Then I'm never attacking with my Vampire again. I guess Revenge could win out of nowhere if I have Blood Mist Infiltrator on the board. Yeah, this is probably not right. But this is what I'm doing. So now they're losing 1 life a turn, and I am staying at the same life total. If they ever get down to 6 life, I can kill them immediately with Revenge and Infiltrator. Consign to the Pit? That is absolutely fine with me, because... especially because they killed the Vampire. Because the Scavenger can still block, so the Vampire does absolutely nothing. That actually would have been nice if they killed the Infiltrator, or alternatively they just waited. Because now I have drawn the toughness... the flyer with more than 1 toughness, I should say. So unless they have another removal spell, I think that that was not a great consign from our opponent. They're probably spectacling something in, but that's fine. Grasping Thrall. This is not good. Didn't want to just get screwed over by Blade Brand. Now I have a Watchdog, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. That was a pretty nice draw. Now I get to Spire Mangler on their Thrall, Spirit of the Spires on the 1/1, and I have a Watchdog as backup, just in case. There's an Oligarch. Opponent is thinking for a long time. Final payment. Sacking the Oligarch, so we're gonna sack the doggy. Do they have double removal spell? That would be awful. They don't even attack. Maybe they do have double removal spell. Guess we'll have to find out this turn. If not, I would either pop the Locket or Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Either of them seems fine. I don't think I popped the Inheritance yet, though. So, if I don't have to play any of the... If I don't have to play the Spire Mangler, then I'm going to pop the Locket. Yeah, then I won't have Revenge mana or Inheritance mana anymore, but I should be able to draw an untapped land out of the next 3 cards. Okay. Spire Mangler's here. Oh wait, it has 2 toughness. I didn't have to offer the trade. Wow, I completely didn't even realize that. I didn't have to offer the trade there. I could have pumped the Spirit of the Spires and put the Spirit of the Spires on the Thrall. But they had the Blade Brand anyway. But actually... No, yeah, because then I would have still had either the Spirit or the 2-1. But that's not actually that much of a better spot. I would have still had the 2-1 flyer. They would have Blade Branded to kill the Spirit. Because then if I still have the 2-1 flyer, it just trades off with their 1-1 flyer. Yeah, I should have... That was a punt on my part. I completely forgot about the secondary ability of Spirit of the Spires. I should still have a Spire Mangler on the board right now. Dead Revels? Really just gonna lose to a Dead Revels? All I have to do is get my opponent down to 6 and get a creature to sack to the Blood Mist Infiltrator. And him for 4 more, they go down to 8. They have Grasping Thrall and Undercity Scavenger. God, that sucks. They've got the Thrall to gain some life. God, I have to draw something sick. God dang it. This is sad. Oh no! This is really bad. I'm gonna keep drawing lands here, and if I do, I actually just don't have any options. I'm not gonna revenge until I get the most out of it. I guess I should have revenged there. But I want to pop Inheritance first. That's probably wrong. Yep. So, if I Inheritance, they go to 9. Then I Revenge, they go to 5. So even if I get a creature off the top, I'm still just so screwed. Yeah, I should have Revenged before the Inheritance, because the Inheritance would have gained me more life in the long run. So I'm at 10, I take 3, 6, 7. So I have to draw a creature off the top 2 turns in a row. Alright. I don't know how the math works out, but I think maybe if I had Revenged last turn and then Inheritance'd, I would have actually killed them. That would be really awkward. That's possible. There's a lot of math to do there, and I can't do it right now. I have no idea. Because I don't remember what life totals they were at and all that. For the doubling, and then the 4, and then... Yeah, I don't know. Come on. Creature off the top. Come on. That would be really awesome. If opponent is slow rolling me on a removal spell here, that'll be infuriating. Okay, Undercity Scavenger. Creature off the top. Dude, Gate Colossus. Gate Colossus off the top. Aww. Alright, well, we just got the planes. That is a loss, but it could have just as easily been a win. So, sad one there. That would have been so cool. Gate Colossus, bam! Gigantic dude immediately sacrifices him. That'd have been really cool. Alright, well, I might have been able to win if I swapped the Revenge and the Ill-Gotten Gains around. I would have to do the math, and it isn't like a direct flip because of the whole doubling and halving thing when they're at different life totals. So they were at 13, I think, and then I put them to 9 off of Ill-Gotten. So the other way around would have been revenge them down to 6, right? Revenge them down to 6, then Ill-Gotten them down to 2. I would have won if I revenged first. That was a punt on my part, and that is sad. I can't keep this hand, because I can't cast any... Oh my god, no, I can't keep this either. I don't want to mulligan to 5, but I'm going to do it! Well, I can cast these cards. I can cast one of these cards. Now I can cast 2. This may be where this draft ends. This may be the worst record I've gotten in a ranked Ravnica Allegiance draft. Or just a Ravnica Allegiance draft, period. Oh my god, cast the card! Does anyone else have that problem where they click on it, they move it up and click again, and it just keeps shoving it back in their hand? It's kind of annoying when it happens. Alright, opponent is on Gruul plus whatever color they want. Gore Clan Wreckers here. I'm just gonna swing in. I offer the trade. They do not accept the trade. Ill-Gotten Inheritance. I'm gonna take 5 to the face this turn, but that's okay. I've gained 3 life, and I'll gain a 4th next turn. Gates ablaze! Gates ablaze for 1, kill my dude, not yours. Sad. That's actually alright, though. Gates ablaze ended up just being a 1-for-1 regular removal spell there. It could have been much worse. Like, if I'd already cast my Oligarch and my Spire Mangler, that would have been way more sad. Oh no. They have made it to the 6 mana for the hybrid. This card is so insane. It's like, Crawworm, you were terrible. Look at what we have now. We have a 6 mana 6/6 that you're also allowed to just play on turn 2 and get in for some early swings. So I could have tossed in a Spire Mangler and blocked hybrid. Then I'm just 2-for-1ing myself when I have other removal spells that hopefully work. Like a Sky Tether. We are officially on the race plan. If I make it to 6 mana, they die very quickly from these 2 cards. So if I draw 1 untapped land, then I think we are in it to win it. They are just super dead. Yeah, so for future reference, for anyone who drafts this card, always cast Revenge first. Because actually just the more life that they're at, the more advantage you get out of the revenge. But I was also like, I'll gain more life if I use it after inheritance. That is the exact opposite of what I needed to draw. I needed the mana, and I drew just another card I cannot cast. So let's see. I hit them for 3, they go to 8. And then I take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I maybe take 12. That would be very bad. Otherwise, I take a decent chunk. We'll find out. Nice, it comes into play tapped, so they don't get to do 1,000,000 to me, they only get to do 500,000. Alright, down to 6. If that were land, I think I would have just won. Yep, it's rounded up, so if it were a land, I put them to 3 and hit them for 3. Not fun. Well, in this case, they're very dead to inheritance as well, so maybe I revive my vampire because he gains life on the block. I think I want to just scavenger away the 1-power flyer. Block the goblin with that, take 4. That is really bad if they have removal, but I think they would have already used it on the Spire Mangler or something by now. Now I get to scry into my land to make sure they're dead next turn. Alright. If I don't die this turn, then I win. Which is really unfortunate, because my land was like the next card. Oh my god. Is that how today's going? I think that's how today's going. Yeah, I didn't even need the revenge, because ill-gotten inheritance would have killed them as well. That was unfortunate. That was a quite unfortunate draft. But you win some, you lose some. And for posterity's sake, I will upload the drafts where I lose and get salty and cry a little on the inside, but that does happen. Let's see what we got in our pity pack. Maybe it's something cool to make up for the sadness. Electrodominance, hey, that's a cool card. Alright, well thank you everybody for watching. Sorry it was not a great video. We did not win much at all. But we tried. We tried. We did have one game where I definitely punted away the win. In that I cast Revenge after Inheritance instead of casting it first. But other than that, a lot of unfortunate, unlucky games. And I think there was an earlier game that also, if I played better, I might have been able to win, but that one was like the one where I had the Gate Colossus and the Ill-Gotten Inheritance out. I think if I went for just getting Gate Colossus out there sooner and just letting them hit me down to dangerously low, just really played on the razor's edge there, I might have been able to outrace them. But that was a very... Even if I did that, I think it still would have been very close, but it would have been closer than it was. I wouldn't have just gotten demolished at the end there. So there was another little play mistake there. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you again for more Ravnica Allegiance, and hopefully some more random wacky chaos formats. Please put something on here, Arena. I'm not the kind of person who wants to play the super serious Magic 24/7. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Where's the stop button? There's the